you're using today, and I just have mine folded in half and just a little bit wider than your shoulder width. We're gonna take the arms up, big inhale, and then exhale, reach down. And notice, like, you don't wanna arch your back here. So often our front ribs will start to pop out. We'll stick our booty out and reach up, but I want you to really find your abdominal connection and keep a nice flat back line. And gradually opening up your chest a little bit more, maybe taking those arms back behind the ears. And inhale, reach up. Exhale down to the hips. Good, do 2 more. And 1 more. Good, keep those arms up, and then you're gonna side stretch over. Keep a firm pull on that towel or your belt. Lift right back up and stretch to the other side. So bottom ribs pulling in, navel drawing to spine. Gonna keep the hips pressing forward and activate the backs of the legs to help you stabilize the lower body. Good, and we'll do 2 more each side. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. Really feel the stretch down the whole side of your body, ribs shifting out. And last one. Come back to center. Tuck your chin and chest, start to roll forward. Let the head fall heavy here. You can let your head hang, nod yes and no. Soften your knees and then start to roll up, toning the seat, lifting the abs as you stand. Arms reach back up. And do that 1 more time. Chin to chest. Upper back rounds, mid back, low belly draws in, head falls heavy. Take a deep breath, and then tone the seat, roll back up. Roll those shoulders back, reach your arms up. Then you're gonna keep the arms up overhead, but bend your elbows wide. If you can bring your belt behind your head, go ahead and do so, and press right back up. Pull down, and reach. So check in with your posture here, long back. Inhale and exhale. You want to feel the tips of your shoulder blades coming together in the back as you pull down. Feeling the lats engage. So those should feel like you're creating a big V down the back going in towards your spine, so your lat muscles. All right, and then we're going to hold the bend in the elbows and then take your gaze side to side. Think about reaching through your chin. And we'll do 1 more each side. Reach the arms up, bring those hands down, and roll the shoulders back. All right, now with a wide grip still, we're gonna go at a diagonal. If you can take your grip a little bit more apart, you can do that. Then you're just gonna open your chest and do big circles. Take the band around the body, arms lift up, and we'll do 4 in each direction. And they don't have to be pretty circles, just working on opening the chest, stabilizing the low body. And then we'll reverse those circles. So you go around the back, over to the other side, around the front. And try to drop those shoulders away from the ears. Last one. And then bring those hands down. Roll your shoulders back. Good, and then drop that strap down for a minute. And take your feet out wide. Good, turn the feet out, knees tracking over the toes. Then I want you to fold forward. And let your head fall heavy. You can kind of shift your hips side to side. If you don't have the flexibility here in your hamstrings, you can always come to the upper thigh and just shift side to side, or even place your hands on a chair for more support. All right, and then come to center. Take your right arm up, opening your chest into a big stretch, twisting the spine, keep drawing the hips back. Right hand comes down, and left hand goes up. And again, we twist, opening to the other side. And switch. And switch. We may have a guest appearance from my cat. Here he goes. And last one. And then bring those hands down. Bend your knees, roll the spine up, shoulder rolls back, and then bring your hands on top. So thumbs I like to do on the insides, press the knees out wide, and just twist your spine side to side. You may get some good adjustments here, but I want you to keep dropping into those hips. Work with your breath. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Good. And then if available, you can stick with the twist or bring your forearms down, and we're just going to shift side to side, pressing through the heels. Roll those shoulders back. Feel your abdominals pulling in. All the while we're maintaining a long spine from the crown of your head through the tailbone. And then go ahead and stand all the way up. Shift your hips side to side. Reach one arm up. Take a big side stretch over. Pressing into your outer thigh to keep that supported lift of the spine. And then come to the other side. And just relax your neck and shoulders. Abs are drawing in. We'll do that again each side. And switch. Come to center, and then take those hands behind your head. You can keep your wide stance here, and just side bend over. Draw the belly in to lift you to center, and switch. Relax the shoulders. Elbows are slightly in front of the ears. Good. And you may not have a big bend here, and that's okay. You want to gradually warm the lateral flexion up in our spines. Come back to center and then twist. Hips stay forward, so hips are square. You're putting the twist in the belly, under the ribs, and we switch. Good. So notice that your outer thighs have to engage and feel like they're wrapping around the back side of your legs to help you stabilize the hips to face forward. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, twist. One more. And center. Good, now fold all the way down again. This time we're going to walk over to your right leg. Try to square those hips. Lift your tailbone. Let your forehead fall heavy. And then come to the other side, over to the left. Try to push through the heels, sit back through the hips. And then come back to the other side. This time keep the leg that you're folding down straight, and you're going to bend and straighten the opposite leg. If you want a wider stance, a deeper stretch, you can wiggle that left foot out a little more. Let's do two more. And then come through center. And fold. Start to bend and straighten your right knee. So this right knee is reaching out rather than forward. Good. Go for 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Good. Soften your knees, roll the spine up, roll those shoulders back, and then step to the back edge of your mat. And so still don't need the strap quite yet. We're going to walk out to a downward dog, reach your arms up, roll forward, and then walk your hands out. So let those hips lift, heels are lifted, push into the spine. So you're lifting up and away from the mat, abdominals are drawing in, and then pedal your heels side to side. Hips can shift, pushing into the outer hips if that feels good. And then lift both heels and walk back. Let your head hang. We're going to do that one more time. Reach the arms up, big inhale. Round the spine forward. Walk out to a downward dog. And high hips. Lift your tailbone, push through the heels. And then step your right foot forward into a lunge position. So you want your right foot right between the hands. You can adjust your stance as needed. And now imagine that your inner thighs are trying to pull together. If to feel that a little better, you can push into the right outer knee and push the knee to your midline, but keep drawing this outer hip back. And I want you to just allow your hips to open up and sink here. If you need to do a little rock back and forth, you can do that. And if this is too much on your wrist, you can do fist. Try to lift the belly off of the thigh so abs are engaging. Good. Now lower the back knee and then walk back. Straightening this front leg, the toes pull up off the floor. And take deep breaths here. So super important, just allow the spine to relax. Get all your spinal extensors, your neck and shoulders. And see if you can drop into this outer right hip a little bit more. Coming back to more of a neutral level pelvis. Good. See if you can go a little bit further, nose to knee. And then bend your front knee, come up to a high kneeling position, and press both hips forward. And so we're tucking the pelvis under, slight tuck of your tailbone, abs are pulling in, you're leaning into your front knee, but still getting a good stretch to that left side, the hip flexor. All right, if you can balance here, you can reach your arms up, and then take a little back bend. Abs are lifting up like they're going through the ribs. Bring your hands down. Bring prayer hands together. Cross the left elbow over right knee. And push the heel of your hands together to allow yourself to twist a little bit more. Keep pressing the hips forward. Big inhale. Big exhale. 2 deep breaths. 1 more. Come back to center, push yourself back onto your back knee. Your front leg hops out to the edge of your mat. And this time we're just opening up the hip. Good. If you need to bring your hands down to the mat, you can do that. You can even press out on the knee. So kind of just find that sweet spot where it feels the best to lean in. And your glutes are still engaging to support the hips opening. Do 2 deep breaths here. Think about sending that air all the way down through the belly. Big exhale, shrink out the waistline. Again. Go ahead and push yourself back. And then bring your hands on your hips, or you can do prayer hands, and we're just going to lean out and push back. The big lean, make sure the knee's tracking over your toes. And we'll do 3, 2, 1, and then push on back. Bring that foot back to the center, hands to the mat. Curl your back toes under and lift to your lunge. Now see if you can drop a little more into your lunge here. And we want to make sure that our ankle and knee on this front leg are aligned. So if your knee is really over your toes, bring your lunge back a little more. All right. And then lifting your abs first, push away from the mat, step your right foot back, and then lift your hips to a downward dog. Right, now step your left foot forward, and we'll do that on the other side. So holding your lunge first, find your alignment. You can do your little rock back and forth, kind of pointing and flexing your back foot. You're always welcome to come onto the fist. All right, go for 3, 2, and 1. And then lower the back knee down, lift to your high knees. Bring the hands on top of the thigh and press both hips forward. So really opening your right hip flexor, you're slightly curling your pelvis under and pressing this knee inward, drawing your left hip back. And then shift your weight back, straighten this front leg, make sure those toes are pulling up, allow your spine to relax, chin to chest. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let's do 2 more deep breaths here. And last one. And then lift up to your high kneeling position. Good. This time your left knee is going to hop out to the side. You're just going to lean into that hip. Option to bring the hands to the floor or rest your elbow on the knee. Whatever feels the most supported. But make sure you're activating the glutes so you're pressing the hips forward, opening up this hip flexor still. Let's do 2 breaths here. Last one. And then push yourself back. Hands on your hips or prayer hands, and you're going to shift out and in. So you're getting this hamstring as you press out. You're pushing through the heel. And see if you can turn that knee out a little bit more. So don't let it come back towards the center. You want to make it go out and back. 2 more. Last one. Then we're going to shift your weight to the back knee. Oh, we forgot our twist. So left knee is still forward. Prayer hands. Twist and right elbow is going to hook onto the outer left knee. Make sure you're pressing the hips forward, pushing the hands together to open the chest. And see if you can get a little bit more into your twist with your exhale. 1 more deep breath. And then come back to the center. Hands are going to come down to the mat. Curl the back toes under, lift to your lunge, and just hold here. Can you get a little bit deeper into your lunge? Good. Find your alignment from that front leg, ankle and knee. Let's do 1 more deep breath. Start to lift your abdominals and then lift your hips as you step back into a downward dog. Lower the knees down, come into a child's pose. Knees are open just a little bit wider than your hips. Allow your forehead to drop and feel your rib cage expand as you inhale. Exhale, low belly pulls in. Inhale. Exhale. Good, and then you're going to roll the spine up, coming into a tabletop position. So make sure knees and hips are aligned, hands under shoulders. And then go into a big cat stretch. Tuck your tail, drop your head, and then find your extension, lifting your tailbone, opening your chest. So the whole time that we're doing these spine exercises, I want you to keep those arms engaged. So wrap your elbows and triceps around and back to the body. And that's going to create more of a stable shoulder girdle for us to move around. Inhale, round. Exhale, extend. So even when we're going into our extension or your arch of the spine, don't let the belly fall to the mat. So you're keeping those abs engaged the whole time. And let's do 1 more. Hold your round back. Let your head fall heavy and then just push back and forth. You can make this as big or small as you want here. But really tuck the pelvis, scoop the belly in, come back to the center, and then find your neutral spine. Good. Now, keeping your hips and shoulders somewhat stable, we're just going to start to circle the rib cage up and around. So focusing on the mid-back lifting and dropping, but really make sure you're pressing out to the sides. And this should just feel pretty good. Might feel a little out of body, but as long as you're getting a little motion in that circular position is what we're looking for. And then reverse those circles, go the other way. We're pushing up through the shoulders, wrapping those triceps back. All right, 1 more big circle. And then this one feels the funniest, but we're going to think about drawing an S through your spine. So you're going to lead at the crown of your head and just kind of snake out. Just moving the spine, moving the shoulders. This should feel a little bit intuitive. It doesn't have to be pretty. But whatever feels good here. And then reverse those swerves. That's the hardest part. Alright. And then come back to the center. Go ahead and push back onto your knees. Roll your wrists out for a second. Then we're going to come right back out. But pick your right knee up. So find your balance. Square the shoulders. Square the hips. Now circle that right knee. So we're just doing big hip stirs. And just gradually working through the rotation. You don't have to start as high. But if you find any sticky spots where it just feels a little tight or maybe you're not getting that circular movement, then slow it down. See if you can work through it. A lot of times that's just the muscles, the fascia in the joints just tightening up. And it needs to just kind of wake up and get through that movement. Go ahead and reverse those circles. Abdominals are pulling in. Weight should be even through those arms. Let's go 3, 2, 1, and then bring the knee in. Shift over to the other side, and we'll start to circle your left knee. So you can just, if you're having a hard time with these circles, just think about drawing through your kneecap. Imagine you have a pin on there. So trying to create that visual of where the movement's coming from. And reverse your circles. Good. All right, do 2 more. And then bring those knees together, push back into your hips. Then we're going to come back up onto your hands and knees. Good. Scoot to the front edge. Make sure you have enough room behind you. Reach your right leg out. Good. And then I want you to reach as much as you can. Tap down and lift up. So you should feel your hip flexor extend once you kick up. You can come to your elbows if that's too much on the low back. But keep those abdominals tight. I like to picture a belt hip to hip. All right, we're not doing a ton here. Just want to feel the back of the leg turning on, the hip flexor is extending, and then bend your knee in, and then reach the knee out, and cross the leg over your midline, and then slide back into your left knee. So you can stay on your hands here if you have a tight piriformis, so I'm like this. If you have a tight piriformis or just deep rotator muscles in your glutes, this might be as far back as you can go. Or you're going to slide down, you can come to your elbows. And wherever it feels the tightest, I want you to lean into that spot and just keep breathing. Here's a moment where your breath really helps. And also push down through the shin on the floor. So the more we can push through the floor, you're creating more of an active stretch and creating opposition in the muscles, and you'll find more benefit of the release in the muscle. So keep breathing. If you feel comfortable here, you can come into a twist, opening your left arm. Try to lean in a little bit more. Abs are drawing in. Let's do 1 more deep breath. And then bring those hands down. Push back up to your tabletop position. I'm going to turn this way again. Left leg goes back. Find that reach through the leg. Square your hips and tap down and up. Inhale, exhale. Now see if you can stabilize your spine. Keep your abdominals engaged. Reaching through the toes. So think of this as a big stretch through the leg. And go 3, 2, 1. Pull the knee in and then reach out, cross over your midline and slide down into your right hip. Good. So you can come onto the elbows. You can stay on your hands. Lean into wherever it feels the tightest. Push down through your shin. Draw your hip back. Deep breaths. Okay, can you lean a little further in? And if available, put your weight into your left elbow and then open to your twist. See if you can twist a little bit more as you exhale. Drawing navel to spine. And then bring those hands down. Go ahead and spin your legs around. Make sure that strap is where you can grab it. We're going to reach your legs out. If you are really tight in your hips or hamstrings, you can sit on a couple pillows. The more we elevate our hips, the more accessible that forward stretch will be, especially in the low back. All right, so arms are going to be nice and long, just as wide as your shoulders. Pull that band tight or your belt. Flex your feet. Lift tall with your inhale, and then tuck your chin and chest, round the upper back forward. So I'm not hinging at the hip yet. I'm just rounding the upper spine and stacking back up. A good visual is if you're up against a wall, think about peeling off that wall bone by bone. So your belly is really pulling back, round the upper back, peel the upper back off, draw the low belly in, and then stack back up. Inhale, exhale. You can also bend your knees here if this is really tight, and lift. All right, now you can stretch forward, hinging at the hip. So round, then lean out, hinge at the hip, reach past those toes, and come back up. Inhale, exhale, round. Inhale, hinge. Exhale, reach further. Let's do one more. Use your breath. Big exhale, reach, 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 and then hook your belt around your toes. Allow your head to drop. You can do a little side to side, ear to shoulder. Feel your rib cage expand as you exhale. Good. You can even pull that band nice and tight to get your hamstrings, but if you're feeling this a lot in your low back, you may not need that extra tug. Good. See if you can relax your forehead to fall towards your legs a little bit more. And then stack all the way up. You're going to bend your right knee. Just take it out to the side. Now we're holding this left leg straight. And if you can reach for your toes, you don't necessarily need your belt. We're going to just pull yourself down the leg. Now check in with the weight dispersion in your hips. So you want to make sure that the sits bones are grounded. We're drawing the belly in, relaxing your neck. And then come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And one more. Now come all the way up. You're going to do a side stretch down your leg. So reach that top arm up, your right arm up to the ear. Don't let this arm just hang. It's an active stretch. The more we reach to our fingertips, the more we're going to open up this right side. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale, reach over. Keep reaching that right sits bone to the mat. Anchor those hips down. Come all the way up. Roll your shoulders back. And then we'll switch legs. Good, so now your left knee has the strap. You're going to take that left knee out, left knee out, right leg is where we're folding down. Good. Option to just grab your toes or maybe the ankle or use that strap as we lift up. Big pull to exhale forward. Hips are square. We'll do one more. Inhale and exhale. All right, we'll come all the way up for your side stretch. Take your left arm out, side stretch down your leg. Make sure you're opening the chest to the front. And lift all the way up one more time. Lift as you inhale. Exhale, reach over. And then come all the way back up. Good. Set that strap just to the side for a second. Butterfly your knees. And we're going to do two variations. So start with the closest diamond you can find. You can still sit on the pillows for this. That's totally fine. And so I have a short diamond with my legs. Fold forward. You can press down with your elbows on the knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward. And so often with the short diamond, you're going to get a little more stretch through the hips and inner thigh pressing down. And so when we lift up, I want you to create a long diamond. Slide your feet out. And then fold forward. Keep pressing down. And you may find that that significantly changes how far you can lean out. But for me, especially, I have a tight IT band, so outer thigh, even my outer calves get really tight. So I try to do more long diamond to activate that stretch there. Inhale, lift up. Let's do that one more time. Up. Exhale, forward. And then come back to center. Go ahead and bend your knees. Roll all the way down on the mat. And then place your hands on top of the pelvis. You're going to have the heel of the hand on the hip bones, fingertips on your pubic bone. So you're creating a triangle with the hands, framing your pelvis. Now I want you to eliminate the space under your low back by tucking back and then come back to your neutral. Inhale. Exhale, scoop and tilt. Inhale, back to neutral. And exhale, tilt. So the low abdominal muscles are really hard to find. I actually took Pilates for years and I never could feel what they were talking about when they said the space between your hip bones and under your belly button. But that space in our triangle is where we're trying to engage. So you can even kind of push in and see if you can activate those muscles to tilt your pelvis back. And you may not feel it yet, and that's okay. It just takes the practicing. But all that has to do with the pelvic floor engagement as we scoop and lift. We'll do one more. And release. Push your arms down. Heels as close as you can to your seat to bridge your hips up. Roll to the top, push down through the arms. And exhale, lengthen back down. So you want to feel your heels pulling into the mat towards you and your knees reaching forward as you roll down. So you're getting an extra inch through the spine. Inhale, scoop. Exhale, press up. At the top, you want to close those ribs and melt back down. You even get a stretch through the thighs here. Inhale, last one. And exhale. Good. Now, take your feet out wide. Good. And we're just going to take a couple knee sways. So knees together, knees apart. And if you can kind of see, I have my knees just as wide as my mat. Good. And you should just open up. We're getting internal rotation, external rotation. We're just pivoting on the heel. All right. And then keep those knees wide. Do those pelvic tucks again. And it may feel a lot tighter here. It may not feel any different. But just turning those knees out as much as you can. Maybe walk your feet out more. A little wider than your mat. All right, and then push those arms down. Bridge your hips up. And exhale, roll the spine down. So inhale. Exhale, you should feel those outer thighs engaging. The hip flexors opening up. Knees reaching forward. Let's do two more. Place the spine down. Think about a strand of pearls. We pick it up, pearl by pearl. And then place the spine down, pearl by pearl. Last one. We scoop and lift. Roll the spine down. Bring your knees to chest. You're going to do a little rock side to side. So try to just reach your tailbone to the mat. Good. And then keeping your knees together, you're going to circle the knees around. Good. And it's okay to let your hips kind of lift as long as you can stay stable on your mat. And reverse. And take those knees apart in opposite circles. So feet are heavy. Let your hip flexors turn off. Your arms are controlling that movement. You should even feel the upper leg bone. The thigh bone is feeling heavy to the floor, like you're kind of pushing down on that bone deeper into the hip socket. And reverse the circles. These can be as big or small as you need them. All right. Good. Now, place the toes down. Stack your hands behind your head. Tuck your chin to chest, leading with the crown of your head. Start to look up at your belly, chin to chest, lift to the brow line. Hold here, pull your abs in. Inhale, and then exhale, roll down. So I want you to feel the stretch to the back of the neck. You traction the spine up, chin to chest, look forward, and all the way down. Let's do two more. Ribs are sliding to your hip bones. Lower the spine down and do one more. And all the way back down. Grab your band and you're going to take it just a little bit wider than your shoulders and keeping those shoulders plugging down to the mat. I'm going to scoop forward. All right, you're going to reach those arms back and all the way down to your hips. So pull your band apart, pull the belt apart. Can you keep your shoulders connected to the mat, keeping the chest wide, collarbones wide? Your triceps are wrapping forward. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach down. Good. Do two more. And last one. Good. Now bring your right knee in. You're going to take it around your right foot, reach your left leg down the mat. Now reach as much as you can through this left leg, and then actively plug this right hip down into the floor. Bend your knee to chest, and then reach up through the heel. So big bend and reach. Bend and reach. Inhale, exhale. So try to sync your breath up with the movement. If you find a different breathing pattern that works for you, that's okay. All right, one more. Keep it nice and straight and then pull towards you. So you can take the belt in both hands, but we want to flex our foot. So the more we stretch through our heel, the more we're going to activate the back of the leg. So think about reaching out through the heel. Big inhale. Exhale, pull a little bit more. And then with your right hand, carry your right leg out to the side. Think towards the shoulder. Left leg reaches out towards the edge of your mat. So see if you can turn that left leg out. Good. Glutes have to engage a little bit just to support this. You can even prop your right elbow down on the mat. And then cross your leg over. Center the left leg. And take the right leg over the body. Good. So still reaching through your heel. We're flexing. If you're really tight in your IT band, bend your knee a little bit. It's okay to let this right hip lift. Come back to center, and we'll do that again each side. Open the hip up. Reach your left leg to the edge of your mat. Come back to center with both legs. Cross over the body. And this time we're going to reach through the heel, but now turn the sole of your foot to the floor. So you're kind of folding at the ankle, and you're going to feel more stretch through here. If you're really tight, sometimes I just knead those where it feels the tightest. Any knots I find, you can knead it out. Just running along the muscle that feels the stretch. Maybe it's in your IT band. Sometimes getting that extra, kind of just a touch massage, helps your muscle just turn off and release. Come back to the center, bend your knee in, and then unhook your foot, slide the right leg down, and pull your left knee to chest. Okay. Anchor the hip down, start to bend and straighten. Reaching through the heel. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Do 2. 1. Reach and hold. Pull the leg towards you. See if you can square those hips. So your right seat has to engage to keep your hips square to the front. And then open your leg out to the side. Right leg now moves to the edge of your mat, creating a long diagonal from foot to foot. Turn the right leg out to get your external rotation. With your exhale, come back through center with both legs and cross your top leg over the body, flexing the foot, reaching out through the heel. Try to keep the ribs and shoulders down on the mat. So having that arm out to the side may help you. And then cross back over. Right leg moves to the edge. We open your left leg. See if you can pull towards the wall behind you rather than just out in line with the hip. Deep breath. Center the legs. Cross the body. And then this time take your fold at the ankle. So turn the sole of your foot towards the floor. You're going to feel this left side really stretching out. Keep breathing. Think about where you're sending the breath all the way through the body. Allow your chest to relax. And then cross back up to the top. Bend your knee in. Unhook your foot. Set the band to the side. And then keep that left knee in. Just give it a hug. And start to circle that knee up open and around. So see if you can square the hips, activate your glute to make sure those hip bends stay up, and then reverse the circle. All right, slide that foot down, pull your right knee in, and do the same thing, just big circles. All right, and reverse. All right, and then bring both knees in. Do a little rock side to side. Reach those arms out to a T. Let both knees just fold to one side. So see if you can keep those knees aligned. So the shoulders are drawing back. Your low belly's pulling in. Try to relax the side of your body as you exhale. You can close your eyes here. Sometimes that just helps your muscles release. Now deepen the abdominals to bring the hips through center. Cross over to the other side. Try to align those knees. You want to feel like your top hip is reaching towards the end of your mat. So you're lengthening the whole side. Let's do one more deep breath here. And then come back to center. Bring those knees in and rock up to a seated position. Good. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Grab behind your thighs. Feet are hip width apart. Start to curl the tailbone under, round back into your C curve. Shoulders are back. We're scooping the belly in. Exhale, round forward. And inhale, lift up. Shoulders back. Tuck the tailbone. Pelvis rotates. Low belly scooping. And exhale, forward. And lift as tall as you can. Shoulders back. Again, round. Exhale, forward. Lift up tall. And then take those legs out wide. So you want to go just as wide as your mat. Going into our big saw twist. We're going to twist to the left. And then reach forward. So try to get your hand past that pinky toe. Look at your back arm. Lift it a little higher. Inhale, back up. Exhale, twist right. Reach past your toe. Can you lift that arm even higher? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach. Hips stay planted. And lift. One more each side. Make sure you're relaxing the neck and shoulders. Looking at that back arm. Come back to center. Bring those hands down. Bend your knees. We're going to take the hands behind you. And just start to bend and straighten. And so now you may feel a tighter stretch taking the elbows straight back. Or you'll take them slightly inward. And make sure you're lifting up and out of the chest. So don't sink into those shoulders. Your heart is coming up. Pushing away through those arms. And the pelvis is rotating as we bend the elbows, just so we're not putting a lot of load in our lumbar spine. Let's do two more. Last one. And then straighten those legs. Reach for the toes. If you need that belt, you'll hook your toes and fold forward. Take a deep breath. Exhale a little bit further. Take your head side to side, ear to shoulder. Make sure your forehead stays heavy here. And then start to stack all the way up. Roll those shoulders back. And then come onto your bellies. Laying all the way down. Stack your hands under the forehead. Elbows are wide. I want you to think about if you were to create a little tunnel under your belly. Your tailbone has to tuck to your feet. Your abs scoop in like you're hollowing out. And shoulders draw back. So all of that is that abdominal engagement so that you can close your ribs and release. It's a small movement, but very effective. Anytime we're lifting our spine, you have to find that abdominal engagement for support and down. So it's not huge at all. It's little lift, inhale, exhale, down. I want you to think about how long you can reach your spine rather than how much can you back bend here. So that way we're targeting our mid-back, the space between your shoulder blades, the back of our rib cage, our thoracic spine. Now bring your hands down. Keep all that in mind as we push through the arms this time. So we're lifting up with our inhale. Exhale, come down. And you may not come all the way up to straight arms. Maybe you pause here. If you start to jump through the spine and kind of feel more in the low back, make it smaller. So I want you to think about the bottom of a Ferris wheel. Your spine is going up and around that Ferris wheel and down. Inhale, shoulders back. Open the chest, abs in. Exhale, down. And then push all the way back into your child's pose. Hang out here for a minute, just deep breaths. Tuck your tailbone to feet. Now walk your hands to the right side. Really shift into the left hip. Push those ribs out. And then over to the left side, push into your right hip. Come back to the center. Now take your left arm under your right. Your hips are high. We're going to push down through that long left arm. So I'm right on my shoulder, and you should feel the left shoulder really opposing that press down to the floor and drawing back. Deep breath. Push yourself up. Thread your right arm under. So I'm pushing down with the right arm, reaching through the left. Try to square those hips. And then push yourself up. Good. And curl your toes under. You're going to lift those hips up. Do another run through those feet. Side to side. And then lift both heels. Drop them down. Walk back. Bend your knees. So you're coming into a little ball position. Hands are in front of you. Just roll through those feet. Through the balls of your feet. Press down through the heels. I'm sure we've all been doing a lot of walking. This is good for our calves, the soles of your feet, Achilles, all the good stuff. All right, and then fold forward, start to lift your hips and roll the spine up. Roll your shoulders back, and then take your arms up to a high V and side stretch over. And reach for that top arm. If you need to press into your outer thigh for some support, you can do that. Bring your other arm up and switch. And lift. One more each side. I like to look at the bottom arm, relax the chin, stretch the back of the neck, and switch. Come back to center, circle those arms back. Big shoulder roll, deep breath, big inhale, and exhale. Good. Press those hands back. Look side to side. And then return to center. And you are done with your stretch session. I hope y'all feel so good.